Hi, and welcome to the next chapter. My name is Michael Keating. You know, not too long ago, we actually did a show on CASA. And while we were getting feedback and stuff like that about CASA, I found out about the Wears Valley Youth Ranch. And I had not known anything about it. So stay by, because we're actually going to go and talk about the Wears Valley Youth Ranch in just a minute. Let's get started.
Go! One. 2 minutes. Ready?
I am Forge Fit. I'm becoming Forge Fit.
I am Forge Fit.
I am Forge Fit.
I am Forge Fit. I'm Forge Fit.
We are Forge Fit.
Bring it down, right here. Yeah.
Hi, and welcome back. And thanks again to our sponsors, Forge Fit. If you haven't tried them out, give them a try. Karina will put you through her paces and actually make you into a Superman. Anyway, we're here today with
Lisa Radmore.
Lisa Radmore with the Wears Valley Youth Ranch. And that we actually have a video to go to, so let's go ahead and do that right now.
God put a burden in my heart and in my wife's heart when we were teens, before we met each other. I saw that there were a lot of kids who simply needed a fresh opportunity to begin, a place to heal, a place where they could experience God's love through the prism of other people's lives. In 1990, I got a telephone call from a lady who said, there's a group in Tennessee and they've got this land and they want to give it to a ministry. And we ended up being the group they gave it to. Many of the kids who come here have someone in their family who cares about them. But at that time, they don't have anyone in the family who's able to take care of them. You realize this child needs a change of scene. They need to be in a place where they can really prosper. And this has been that place, a place of healing, a place of growth for over 200 kids now.
My dad wasn't really in my life, and so I lived with my mom, and she wasn't making the wisest decisions, and we kept moving. And when I lived with my mom, we always lived sort of in apartments and everything, so I didn't really have much of an outside time. I would stay with Aunt Nancy in the summers sometimes and kind of hang out with her. I was always excited because she has horses, or we always get to do fun things, always get to play outside, and she kind of just realized that she wanted the best for me, and she knew that Aunt Nancy was just a good start.
And her mom realized that she could not provide the home that Sydney needed. And she realized there was something very special and sweet in Sydney, and she wanted to preserve that. The ranch provided basically a safe haven for Sydney. Sydney flourished, Sydney grew. Her whole life is different from being at the ranch. It was one of the very best decisions our mom ever made.
Everything we do here is designed to try and make the gospel believable to these kids. It's why we have the Adventure Rec program. That's why we have the horse program.
The Lord led me here. It's been almost 10 years here at Wears Valley Ranch, and almost, I guess, 14 years professionally as a horse person.
Get, squeeze, 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 get, don't go back. Squeeze again, squeeze again, squeeze again, squeeze, get. Yep, head forward, heels down, heels down, heels down, heels down. Good job.
I can't ride their horse for them. I can give them truths to apply, and then they need to take those truths and apply them. They have to own those and live those out on horseback.
They definitely taught me responsibility and hard work. It just made me take initiative on things and just become a harder worker and just see that play out through other things, through jobs and school. And
by God's grace, they will not just grow in hearing my voice and my truth and doing it on horseback, but that will be an avenue for the Lord to grow them in hearing His voice and His truth and doing it in all areas of their lives.
We began developing a clearer and clearer picture of what we felt God wanted us to do, and part of it was having individualized Christian education. Definitely needed to be a biblical framework in the way that we approach education, but it also needed to be individualized where each child could learn at their own pace, emphasizing the style of learning that is their strength, and able to be at one grade level in one subject and another grade level in another subject, because that's the way most kids come to us.
Being at the ranch, living at the ranch, all the different house parents that she got to know over the years, all the mentors, all the people that came together that made her family there, helped shape her, helped grow her. Everybody she comes in contact with is benefited from just how she grew at the ranch.
Our goal is to take the children that God sends and provide them with a loving, home-like environment where they are taught the truth of the gospel and given an opportunity to learn great academics and have a hope for their future.
That's a pretty amazing video, and it actually shows a lot about what the ranch is all about. I went out there and toured the ranch not too long ago, and what really impressed me, first of all, was I started with the morning service. Now, every day you have a morning service there, which is great.
Yes, Monday through Friday we start with morning chapel, and that's the first class of the day for the kids that are living there. The children learn how to listen to someone who is giving a lecture, put that into a notebook, and then every month they turn in a report about that. So we have students ages 6 to 18 that we help, and they're learning skills like that in basic elements such as morning chapel.
That's great.
That's
great.
of
And it's great that it's framed in a Christian, that it has Christian values to it.
We think so, because our vision is to see each child inspired to follow Christ, healed from their past, and equipped to reach their full potential, and we view it in that order.
I actually walked around, we saw some of the classes, we saw all the buildings and that, which look like, it almost looks like a Hollywood set of the Brady Bunch over here, and all these beautiful buildings that are houses where the kids live. And they all look different, which is great. So all kids feel individual now. They don't feel like they're put in a dormitory.
Right, that's by design. We don't want to live or work in a place that looks like an institution. Because the children that we serve are seeking a safe haven. They're not juvenile delinquents. They're not a behavioral risk. but they have some type of family situation going on that causes them to need a more strong support system than what their current parents are able to give them. With that said, our students are given the opportunity, if able, to go and visit their families throughout the year. So children that come to us come as a voluntary placement. And they are there because they want to be.
None of them are forced to be there.
That's right. And the parents still have custody. And so for a parent who is going through a tough time, this is a great place to consider sending a child. And because of that, that's one of the reasons that I joined the local Metro Drug Coalition called Sevier County CARES. And CARES stands for the Coalition on Addiction, Recovery, and Educational Services. We are hearing about so many mothers who unfortunately are addicted to opioids and would like to go get help, but they don't want to lose custody of their children and feel like they have to fight to get them back. And so the ranch offers a really good opportunity for people who find themselves in that position.
Well, that's what we found out about CASA. I mean, there's all these parents that are into drugs and stuff like that, and the kids are the victims. The kids are the ones that, you know, they're kind of forgotten about. And thank God there's a service like what you have. And the thing that actually gets me is when we actually went and saw the classrooms and everything else, and these kids are so into it. I was really expecting the kids to be a little bit aloof so they wouldn't be interacting. So no, these kids are eating up the education, they're eating up the love and everything else so much.
Well, the thing is, when the children come there, they have an education it's individualized. It's based around where they are academically. It's not put into a grade box. And we have one-on-one instruction,
which is important.
And we tailor their schoolwork so that they can succeed. So they have tasted success, and once you taste success, you want more of that. And also, once you feel loved and once you feel safe, you're able to thrive better academically because of that. And they just know that people there love them and that they're safe there.
And that's huge. That's huge. For a kid that's actually gone through parents that are probably broken up or maybe even not married or anything else and drug addicted and everything else, it's a roller coaster ride for them. And that. Do us a favor, tell us a little bit about the history of the place. How did it all come about?
Well, it's a miracle. God truly did provide. God loves children, and He's provided for the children. The property for the ranch was donated back in 1991 to Pastor Jim Wood for the purpose of Wares Valley Ranch. And it was laid on Pastor Wood's heart and his wife's heart at two separate times before they met that one day they should have a children's home. So 20 years later, they get this phone call that this property is available, and they turn in an application for it, and they were selected to put Wares Valley Ranch where it is today. Continuing on with that miracle, from day one, the ranch decided that we never wanted to assume debt. We wanted to grow the ranch as God provides, and we never have accepted any assistance from the government.
Which is huge as well.
Yes, so where does the money come from to do what we do? And it comes from God's people. People who have a heart for children, who want to see that cycle broken, the generational problems that exist in families, such as drug abuse and so on. So people that have a heart for God's children, that want to see them succeed, they have been such a blessing to us, and that's basically how we operate.
Well, that's great. That's great. I know when the government gets involved, then there's all these rules and regulations, and you can't talk about the Lord or anything else, which is a big deal.
Not just that, but if we accepted government funds, we would be forced to accept a child that we may not be equipped to handle. And as I said, we handle children who are not a behavioral risk, and some of the children, unfortunately, that DCS, Department of Children's Services, works with are a behavioral risk, and that's why they're where they are. And because we don't lock up knives, we don't have locks on all the doors, things like that, we have a very safe and open environment for the students, and a child that can't handle that would not do well there. So we're able to say we can't take that child.
Well, that's good, though. I mean, because it makes the whole the whole system work better for you.
For us, yeah, we're very specific in the child we help. The flip side of that, though, if we have a family that reaches out to us and says we have a child and they do have behavioral problems that are beyond what we are equipped to help, we look for loving, hopefully godly places that those children can go to. We don't just say sorry and close the door.
Well, that's what my brother does.
We help counsel children like that.
Yeah, my little brother David actually does.
Oh, that's sweet.
He brings them in, and he actually has adopted a bunch of them.
Sure.
Which is great. And
that's great.
But anyway, tell us more about the ranch. What are some of the things that? What are some of the goals? First of all,
the goal, like I said, is to lead children to Christ. We want the children, when they leave the ranch, to be self-sufficient. We teach them technical skills as well as academics. Not all the children that we work with are going to be college material.
Yeah.
So we have a wood turning program, and we teach them skills around the ranch, such as the lawn care and things like that, gardening. We do have horses at the ranch. The equine program, as you saw in the video, is a huge part of what we do, because we can teach children truths on horseback and marry those with biblical truths. And it's also an encouragement for the children. When children come to the ranch, they start out as a level 1 student, which means they're the shadow of a staff member, because we're learning to trust one another. And as we earn that trust, or they earn that trust, and we feel better about giving them more responsibility and more freedom, they can become a level 2.
Yeah.
And at level 2, they get the opportunity not just to help care for the horses, but to actually take lessons and be in the saddle. So there's a lot of things around the ranch that are designed to encourage good behavior.
Well, yeah, I noticed that all the kids were doing, I mean, not just horses, but they were also doing the planting, they were also, you know, there's a big garden there and everything else. They're also doing a lot of the hands-on work to make them feel like they're part of something, like they're part of the whole situation, which is great, you know, which is great. I think a lot of kids need that now.
When a student first comes, within the first week or two, they learn how to do their own laundry.
Yeah.
All right, so parents, I want you to listen to me. We have children that come as early as age 6 that are learning to do laundry. I think my children, who are adults now, I think they duped me. I did their laundry for years, but they can learn at a young age to do things like that. And just in case a parent decides to pull a child out from our care, we want them to know those basic skills so they can take care of themselves if a parent gets in another bind to where they can't help.
This might even be something a parent doesn't know how to do.
Exactly.
There you go. And
that's very true.
So what's the future?
Well, we just opened and dedicated a new chapel. For years, we have worshiped and had lunch in the same building. We would drag tables and chairs out back and forth in between those services daily. And now we have a chapel that's dedicated to the study of God's Word and worship of Him that we can go to. And within that chapel, there's an art gallery that we would like to see visitors begin to come and see the ranch as a tourist destination.
Is the art by the kids, or is it by...
No, several years ago, one of our donors in the Atlanta area had a business, and he funded an art contest at a local university. All of it had to be gospel-oriented, and the winning collection each year, or winning piece each year, would go into his collection, which he has now donated to us.
Yeah, I remember there was a long hallway with a lot of art there.
Yes.
I wasn't sure what the history of that was.
Yes.
So.
Well, it's very unique and beautiful art. A lot of the you just need to come see it.
Yeah.
And in addition, we have an artist out of Florida who is very well known. I don't want to give a whole lot away until it's up, but we're doing we're having a fabulous piece done that will go behind the pulpit of the chapel, behind that area.
Oh, very cool.
That I think people will enjoy coming to visit. I think it will be a destination. And so it's our way of getting people, give them a reason to come to the ranch, just to see the artwork and be able to share our story and hopefully lead more people to Christ.
Oh, yeah. A lot of the things that you do at the ranch and stuff like that, I noticed that you have... you also do for team building and things like that for businesses. I want to bring that in because that's part of how you get your money and stuff.
Yeah, we have an adventure rec course that our students get to enjoy. Our students get outdoor rec from 4 to 5:30 daily.
Yeah,
and so we have someone that's set up just to administer that and to be our PE coach per se. And he has a wonderful adventure rec course.
Yeah, it's great. I saw it.
And he also is trained for corporations to come and use our facilities and to do team building type activities for their organization. So if anyone's interested in that, please contact the ranch, because that's one of our outreaches, and it's a way that we can kind of help make a little extra money to support what we're doing out there.
And it's tough to make money to keep going with what you're doing.
It does.
But you're doing such a great work over there. I noticed that the kids, I actually thought that it would be like school. I mean, there'd be kids in 6th grade and 5th grade and 3rd grade, but actually you have several different grades that learn together. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's kind of like a one-room schoolhouse in some places, but it's small. It's just a few people that are involved in that.
Wow, that's great. Well, we're getting toward the end of our thing here. Is there anything you'd like to mention about the ranch that we haven't touched on?
Well, just briefly, one of our success stories is a girl named Jackie. She was the first student that we accepted, and I like to tell people about her because her story's so sweet. But she came to us at a young age. She graduated from our high school through our program, went to Maryville College, got her teaching degree, and before she went off to be a teacher, she came back and served as a mentor at the ranch to our students. So we see success stories like that all the time. Children come full circle and they come back and they want to give back. Children who have graduated successfully through the ranch really have a good testimony to tell about us.
Yeah, that's great, because a kid that goes through a lot of bad stuff sometimes only gives bad stuff back, where they're going through great stuff like what you're doing. They encourage other people.
That's our hope.
Yeah.
That sure is.
Well, anyway, that's the end of our program. I hate to say, we could certainly talk for another hour, I would think. But bottom line, if you get a chance to, check out Forge Fitness. They are our sponsors, and we do appreciate their being here. And more importantly, check them out on Facebook, but go over and check them out in person, and that you can actually see some of the stuff that they do. And if you get a chance to like and share us, and let other people know that we're around, and let other people know about the ranch here as well.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Okay. Yeah, I think you did great. I was kind of laid back, so I hope.
Go! One. 2 minutes. Ready?
I am Forge Fit. I'm becoming Forge Fit.
I am Forge Fit.
I am Forge Fit.
I am Forge Fit. I'm Forge Fit.
We are Forge Fit.